So I started putting a guide together for Crafted Mice's Symera 3D printing mice. They use Razer Viper V2 Pro internals, which means you can use 4000Hz. It comes in Symera 114, 104 and 94. There are 3 different shells, and you can also pick what colours and options that you want. If you look at the Crafted Mice Discord, you can find feedback. There's quite a few different colours. You can pick silicone rings for the scroll wheel if you wanted to. A lot of options there. You can even pick what skates you want. PTFE dots by default, sapphires or even glass. I prefer sapphire myself as they're always consistent. My favourite is the Symera 94, the smallest. And this is the Symera 104 and 114. This video will show you the assembly process of Crafted Mice's Symera Mod-kits. You can follow along with the video or you can follow the guide which will be linked below. The guide will show you everything you need to do to assemble your mouse. It has all the details you need. It also lists what tools you need. So you basically need a general cross screwdriver bit, a Torx T6 screwdriver bit, maybe some needle nose tweezers and some scissors. The guide will walk you through all the pieces you'll need. For each step, as you see, there's some images, fairly straightforward. So this video will not show you how to take apart your Razer Viper V2 Pro. You can have a look at the guide that will be linked in the description, which will have a quick brief of how to take it apart. But BeardedBob does a really good Razer Viper V2 Pro teardown video, so if you want to check that out, it will be linked below and also in the guide. BeardedBob makes a lot of really good mod videos and disassembly things. You should totally check him out. I love his content. So as shown in the guide, we should prepare the parts for assembly. Be sure you have your shell, the batter that you need, the Crafted Mice Pretravel tool as you see here is the black bar, the crafted key. You should also be sure to have the silicone ring, the scroll wheel, the 4 general Phillips screws and the 2 T6 screws, and also your PCB. Everything you see here is what you need. Also be sure to have your double-sided tape that comes with your kit. This is for the battery. So the first thing you want to do is get some needle nose tweezers and your silicone ring upgrade if you went for that. We need to remove the stock ring from the Razer Viper V2 scroll wheel. Should be pretty easy. And then just put it on like you took it off. Next we want to put the screw wheel onto the actual PCB. The smallest side goes into a little hole. Should be pretty easy to put on. Next we get our base, the PCB. We need to line up this small edge as you see here. It's a bit rounded with the central pillar. Here's a little close up of the central pillar. So line this little edge up. And then drop it down. Be careful of the scroll wheel and the pillar for that. It should just easily slide in. And then make sure you line up these 2 holes as you see here for the screw holes. Next we get our cross screwdriver. 2 of our 4 cross screws. We screw in both of these holes on the PCB. Do not over tighten. Stop when you feel a stop. If you over tighten you'll damage the threading and won't be able to screw into them again as this damages the plastic. So don't over tighten. Next we get our double-sided tape. Our battery of choice. Crafted Mice sell smaller batteries to save on weight. So if you want to go for that upgrade you can do that too. We put the double-sided tape onto this QR code area. It's a good spot for the battery. Next we plug in the battery. Now we apply slight pressure to the battery, not too much, just stick it down into the double-sided tape. Now we can get the top shell and the assembled bottom shell, the 2 remaining cross screws, and the Crafted Mice Pretravel adjustment piece. This is used to adjust the clicks so they feel just right. Now we hold the top shell and hold the clicks so they stay in place. You want to secure them while you hold it. Put on the Crafted Mice Pretravel adjustment piece. If it doesn't sit, you can sit the screws into it slightly. Now we get the 2 general Phillips screws that are cross. Screw them down but don't over tighten because you can damage the threading, you don't want to do that. Do it on both sides. Now we can remove this piece. If you have a little bit of trouble removing it, just slightly loosen the screws and pop it off. Now your click should be ready. Now you can get the top shell and bottom shell that's assembled. Line up the hooks on the bottom piece, as shown here. Should be quite easy to align, and then there'll be a slight gap at the back. You can then clip it down, and then make sure it's a bit flush. You want this to be flush as possible. Now we can test our clicks as shown here. If you have troubles with your clicks, just pop it open again. And then adjust these screws until you find the right click. Now you can assemble it again, doing the same process. Line up the hooks, a slight gap, clicking it close. Now we can attach the base with the Torx T6 screws. These are the last remaining screws. Do not over tighten these screws, it's going to damage the threading, and you won't be able to screw into it and it'll damage the base. So be careful of that. Now your mouse is ready, have fun with it. If you want to turn it on, you can just use the little Crafted Mice key. It'll blink twice to show you that it's been turned on. Here's the button on the bottom that you press with the key. Enjoy! If you have a look at the guide that I made, you'll find a little instruction area or a mouse manual changing DPI, such as red means 400 DPI, green means 800, and blue means 1600. You just change DPI by pressing the same button that turns the mouse on and off. To use 4000 Hz, you will need the HyperPolling Dongle from Razer. You can use the code 4000 Hz to save some money. I think it's a discount around $15. It works outside of America too. If you liked the video, then consider subscribing and giving this video a like. It helped me out a lot. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.